Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about part 2 of the RRC log analysis. So in the previous video we have seen only with respect to the RRC aspects related to the health recall and also going back to the idle mode and triggering the paging. So that's the scenario. But today we are trying to have a look at with respect to the timestamp mapping, okay, which is a part 2 video. So that you can see, I'm just trying to map. So we are here now. Let's try to understand the initial things. Let's say, for example, system information block 1, right? For this, because this is DLSH, which means it is coming in PDSH. Now with respect to RRC, what are the different layer specific behavior across the different layers like RLC, MAC and also the physical layer aspects. So example, if I'm trying to take this, okay, so I'll take this one to give a brief overview. So this is 361, sorry, 161. So for that 161 at the MAC level, some scheduling is something is actually happening, right? So with respect to this, right, processing SIB1, RRC messages, NAS messages, RRC messages, and MAC. So there is a scheduling from the MAC perspective, and something is happening at the physical layer, which means the PDSH and PDCH decodings are actually happening here. So it is a correlation with respect to timestamps. Though it is a timestamp is here, right? Here and there we need to check in order to understand better for the other layer interactions when compared to RRC. Against the RRC, what all the different layers are actually coming into the picture, you can try to see all the things here. Physical layer, RRC. So we will take another example, okay, while connecting to the network. Maybe so these are all default configuration, MAC configurations, completely configuration related thing. Now let's try to take the RRC connection request. So this is the timestamp I'm taking. Now you can see, sorry, so next, system information block 1, right? So for that, MAC is again, there is a scheduling SRNTI window, right? SRNTI and window length, searching for DLDCI, correct? Because this is downlink, which is system information block 2, SI acquire, right? Again the MAC, you can see TB 0 bytes, new transmission 41 bytes, redundancy version, HARC acknowledgement, new data indicator, right? RLC is also there here, PCCH, transmission restrict. So if you decode this complete thing, then we'll come to know about this, what it is and all, okay. The information elements, how we can decode it. So that's main thing. Maybe you can try to take this and you can go back to the one of the website that I will share in the link description. Then you can try to see, okay. So and scheduling system information blocks receiving. So again we'll try to take another timestamp, okay. For example, RC connection setup complete. So for this RLC, MAC and physical layer timings, that we'll try to have a look so that we can understand better. So connection setup complete. So the moment you are going to setup complete, now the PDCP is on for the encryption, right? Encryption, integrity and encryption. So this is the PDCP preparation for this particular RRC message. Now RLC, TXSTU, right? 40 bytes sequence number. Different preparations, individual layers. So you have to refer to the 36.321, 322, 323 and 36.331, right, for the RRC specification. So different things that we need to take into consideration. So that's why if you try to have a look at the logs, we won't be coming to know so many things. Individual specific experts can see the things better actually, okay, when compared to the whole set of logs. So MAC side, this is the one, something power headroom specific things are actually happening, right? Redundancy version, redundancy version 0 TPS, which means this is arc. At the physical layer something is currently happening, MAC RLC, right? So the mapping is very much important, because whenever you see any issues at one particular stage, if you wanted to dig, if you wanted to debug, we no need to know the entire scenario, but at least just the fundamental basics related to top level message exchange. Let's say for example, in this particular case in the RRC we have seen um, like acquiring the system information, and also connecting to the network with respect to the RRC message exchange, right? RRC connection request, RRC connection setup, and RRC connection setup complete. So for every message, how my lower layers are actually behaving. So if you wanted to understand, that is very much necessary to understand. If you wanted to understand that part, so just always try to track the timestamp with respect to that. You can see RSA connection setup complete. We have seen an example. Now you can see there is something called as the UL info transfer and DL info transfer. Somewhere you can see here. Example you can see. So this is the timestamp. So I'm just trying to go in the UV logs. Basically this is a NAS message which is coming. Now you can see NAS message, right? Authentication request, authentication response. So those are actually coming in UL info transfer and DL info transfer respectively, right? So with the, from this we'll try to always compare. We no need to bother too much about what is actually happening in the entire call flow. Okay, if you are a NAS developer, okay, against the OTA messages which are actually coming here over the air messages or device messages, so you'll come to know about these things. Then against the timestamp you go into the main log and try to understand here what is currently actually happening. If you're a NAS developer, you try to have a look at the NAS. If you're a PDCP developer, you have to have a look at the PDCP logs, right? So timestamp is the main important point here, because at that particular instance with respect to RRC, at the PDCP level what is actually happening, at the RRC level what is currently happening, right? It may be just a normal nanoseconds or milliseconds microseconds timestamp that you can consider. That's why this is specifically indicated as a this particular timestamp. So against this particular timestamps what is actually currently happening. Now in because this is an UV log, you won't be coming to know what is the base station log or what is the EPC log. So we won't be seeing all those things. Okay, uh, those are all different set of logs. So in the EPC discussion we'll try to see what are the different I mean MME specific NAS messages, message exchanges, and S1AP specific message exchanges. So those are all because from the network perspective, and this discussion is related to UV aspects, so we won't be coming to know all those things. What we are trying to understand, because this is a wireless device and it is trying to communicate to the base station, no matter NAS or the lower layers. So like this I think we should be able to understand with respect to the timestamp when we are actually interacting with the base station. Okay, so that's all for today. I think we'll see you in the next video with a different layer. Thank you.